Hello and welcome to the midweek edition of Weighted to Win. We're off to Pietermaritzburg, racing out at Hollywoodbet Scottsville. We've got 8 races for you. I'm going to dive straight into it. The favourite quite short. It's JP van der Merwe and Alec Led at about 15 to 10. The horse's name is Lady Lennox, a 3-year-old bay filly. Drawn 6. It's found quite a bit of support, I might add, overnight. I see 4 Freedom Square 5 to 2. Now the ride of Craig Zaki. Smanga Kumalo has got flight complications and won't be able to get there for race number 1. 3 Lady Greensleeves at 4 to 1 and at 6 to 1 and better those. Let's start with Darren. Darren, welcome to the show. Tell me, are we going to start off with his favourites? Are we going to have a bet on the nose, or do we need to respect the Tarry runners?
You got to respect the Tarry runners because Lady Lennox hasn't quite, she hasn't quite performed in both her starts, and I'm surprised to see her short in the betting. You got Lady Greensleeves and Freedom Square. There's nothing between them on form. So 3, 4, and 6 to fight it out.
Yeah, so I think we do need to show a lot of respect to Sean Tarry and his runners. He's got a dangerous pair over here. Let's go to Daryl Marie. Great to see Daryl. I know that he labelled that as Karapi yesterday out at the Val, so he's smiling. Daryl, welcome to the show. First race, what are we doing?
Also playing the safe route, Brandon, numbers 3, 4, and 6. Tate, number 4 is now ridden by Craig Zaki, and he's wearing cheek pieces for the first time. She's a filly that tends to get worked up. Apparently last time out she behaved better. She wasn't sweating up as badly. So I think maybe she's just getting used to racing, and I can see her winning because, in my opinion, Lady Lennox, although she could have the most improvement to come, she went backwards in her second start. She was well positioned. She just failed to kick on. She needs to set the record straight and prove to us today that she's better than that effort, because on her debut effort she should go very close to winning. So I've just played the wide route. I'm not a fan of the Sean Tarry fillies form lines. I think they're very poor, so I can see the favourite winning, but I haven't banked her. I've gone all of 3, 4 and 6.
Daryl, what did you think of Valley Girl last time out from that Freedom Square form line?
Yeah,
very unlucky.
Yeah, now you
opening old wounds?
Opening old wounds.
Sorry, Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still love Daryl Marie. I know he's trying to recover from that, but we're going to focus on this race. We're going to dive straight into the selections. Let's see what we're doing first. Leg of the pie pot. It is race number 1. Late start. You got more than enough time to get involved. 3, 4, and 6 for Daryl Marie in the first leg of the pie pot by Banker 6. By 1, 5, and 6, by 1 and 2, by 1, 3, and 8, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, and 10. 432 rand the spend. Alright, so we're on to race number 2, and this will be the first leg of the place accumulator. And Vibe SA is your favourite. That's number 6. 3-year-old Bay Colt. Atendiwe Mgutwa gets the ride for Gareth van Sale. That's at 14 to 10. Number 1, Birthrights at 18 to 10, and you're getting 5 to 1 and better those. So it does look to be an absolute 2-horse race. Let's go to Darren first on the line. Darren, do you agree with me? Just 2 horses in the first leg of the PA?
Well, I thought you could bank a Vibe SA on that good latest effort. You know, it was a strong race. You had Captains Christie in there. You had that horse Mount Pilates. That was a solid effort. He was staying on strongly at the finish. I mean, and if building on that, I really believe he's the right horse because he's got fitness on his side, where Birthrights returning after a bit of a break. He did catch the eye on debut, though.
All right, yeah, I think this was Vibe SA. Let's watch how he goes down to the start. We know that this combination, very powerful. Atendiwe Mgutwa and Gareth van Sale. Let's go to Daryl Marie and see what he likes. Daryl, it does look to be 2 horses for me. Is there anything outside of those 2 that you like?
Not particularly, Brandon. I've taken my chances. I'm bankering number 6, Vibe SA in the PA. You know, he's got penned experience in both of his starts to date. Last time out, like Darren touched on, Mount Pilates was in the race. He came out and ran 5th, I think, in the Umkomazi. Captains Christie got touched off in that debutant. Who was it behind? Callum Moretta. So I think he's ready to, and he's shown enough. I've got respect for the favourite. I'm not going to say he's worth a bet. I'm just saying he's worth bankering in the PA. And I've got respect for Alec Led's colt, Birthright, fair enough debut. I mean, Jerusalem Rain came out thereafter and ran second in the nursery. Lovely debut. I don't think he'll be too much in need of the outing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have travelled. It is quite a costly exercise. Yeah, but banker the 6 in the PA, Brandon.
It's good to see Caden Brewer gets his chances for Alec Laird on Birthright. 3-year-old Bay Colt. I see he has been off for about 146 days, so we'll have to just watch him closely and see how he moves down to the start. But they wouldn't go all the way to Scottsville if he was unfit. I'm sure, like Daryl said, it's quite a costly exercise to travel these horses around the country. Let's jump into those selections. Let's see what we're doing. First leg of the PA. Daryl's gone banker 6, by banker 5, by 1 and 2, by 1, 3 and 8, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9 and 10, by 2, 4 and 5, by 1 and 6. That's going to cost you 288 Rand. First leg of the pick 6 starts now in race number 3, and your favourites, number 1, Tickerlocks at 18 to 10. It's Gavin Larena for Paul Lafferty. Number 2, Navajo Nations at 5 to 2. Number 5, Jet Bund. I think that's how we say it, or Jet Bund at 9 to 2, and at 17 to 2, and better those. All right, I'm going to start with Darren on the line. Darren, it does look to be a tricky sort of a race to open up the pick 6. Have you singled anything out, or are we going wide?
Well, I thought 1, 2, 3, and 5 lies between them. Now, Tickerlocks showed a lot of pace last time out over the 1400. It all depends how he's going to go over the mile. You've got a horse like Navajo Nation that ran in a feature race behind Main Defender last time out. His penultimate start was good. This horse could show major improvements. A Silver Alert, a Silvano out of a Jetmaster mare. Surely the trip's going to be ideal, can improve, and Jet Bund's not out of it.
Yeah, look, I'll be hoping that Jet Bund runs a cracker for the connections. I know that Ryan Richards involved over there. Rahil's also part of the team with Warren Lenferner and Candice Lenferner, and not forgetting Pound Bloodstock being Sterling Miller. Good bunch of guys, and they really love the game, Daryl. We'll be hoping that Jet Bund runs a cracker for them.
Actually, off topic, Jet Bund. Last time out, Brandon, Canford Ice won by 6 lengths. He was a length of the second place horse. The second place horse was Aberdeen, who came out and won. I thought his latest effort is best to date. Tickerlocks, worried about the mile. He got it very easy last time out. He skipped at the right time. In his penultimate start, he was pulling. Let's see how he goes over the mile. I don't think he represents much value. Navajo Nation. I've watched his starts today. He seems very, very one-paced, to be honest. Can't believe he's so short in the market. I think there's no doubt he could improve now that he's gained a trip, but I don't think he's shown enough. This horse, number 6, Global Ruler, interests me a lot. Brandon, in his latest starts, he beat a horse called Canford Ice, who won by 6 lengths next time out. The tongue tie goes on for the first time, if I'm not mistaken. Global Ruler. Got Muzieni, tongue tie, gonna strip fitter. I'm gonna go 5 from 6 in this race.
Some lovely value there. Well found, Global Ruler by Darren Marie. So perhaps you want to include that into your pick 6s. Let's put that up on the screen. Let's see what the guys are doing. Darren Burrows, well, he suggested that maybe we take a Quartet box derby. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. 120 Rand is what it's going to cost you. See how much you can take that for. But the Quartet boxed 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. First jackpot goes off at 14.25. It starts now in race number 4. It's quite an open race. Your favourites, number 1, are Vernie King. Number 1, it's Smanga Kumalo for Peter Muscat at 4 to 1. Number 11, Quantify, 11 to 2. Madison Blues for Johnny Finlayson at 13 to 2. That's the ride of Gavin Larena for Paul Lafferty, and it's 7 to 1 and better those. Let's start with Darren. Darren, I don't like the look of the race. I think there's a few horses that have got chances here.
Yes, definitely. There is a form line to follow where everything ran behind Professor Snape. Now, Vernie King, Tin Cup, Twice Golden, Cyber Time, Quantifier, only 2 lengths separating them all at the line. Now, I think the improver could be Tin Cup. I thought he was in need of his last start. We haven't seen the best of him. Lightly raced 5-year-old. Good draw. He'll go handy. I think he's the improver. Madison Blue's going to love the step up to the marathon trip. He just looks like that sort of type. So it's quite a tricky race.
Yeah, I want to ask Daryl Marie if he's ever been to Tin Cup in the south of Johannesburg. Wonderful restaurant. And Daryl, you ever been there? Hit a few golf
Yeah.
balls?
I only go there when Clyde's paying. Otherwise, I don't go there. But yeah, what a place, especially over the weekends. Live music. Very,
Vibey.
yeah, sometimes too vibey. Anyway, I like the look of Tin Cup myself, Brandon. You know, I think Darren's 100% correct in saying that he's needed his later start and that he's going to go forward. I think he's at his best when he's handy, if not leading. That wasn't the case last time out, so I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him reverse the form with those that finished ahead of him. I've gone very short in this leg. I hope I get through. I've only got numbers 1 and 2. Of Ernie King, he's really been plagued with bad draws. Hey, Brandon? Excuse me, 13 out of 13, 13 out of 13, 9 out of 11. Now he's drawn 1. The blinkers get refitted. I don't know if that's Samanga's recommendation, but if he can just get a nice, relaxed run behind Tin Cup, which is the way I hope it's going to happen, I think he could certainly run him down. So, like I said, I've taken my chances 1 and 2 only.
Yeah, I just want to ask you quickly. I know we need to wrap up this segment, Daryl, but this was that Trent Mayhew's riding. That's got to have some sort of a chance now that he's back over the right trip, twice golden. I know he's 7. There's not much more improvement, but he stays well.
Brandon, he's at his best on this track. Now, I think a lot hinges on the pace with regards to his chances, because if they're going to be going slow up front and they turn it on at the top of the straight, this horse can't pick them up. But if they stretch them out from the jump, he's got a bigger chance of mowing them down in the straight. So let's see how he goes. Shame Paul Trent yesterday was tailed off in the last race. I don't know what exactly happened there.
Yeah, Alabama Anna. But Craig Mayhew did win, and obviously all the best to Craig now that he's got his trainer's license back. He had a good day. He had a 4th with Southern Style and a winner in the last with Miss Soho. But we need to move on with proceedings. We've obviously got racing out at Hollywood Bet Scottsville today. Let's jump into those selections. Let's see what we're doing. The jackpot. Darren Burrow's gone 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 11 by 1, 3, 7, 8, by 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 by 2, 4, 5 at the back. 672 Rand the spent. All right, let's move along to the next live race from Hollywood Bet Scottsville. And the favourites over here for race 5 is Rulership, number 1 at 5-2. Number 3, Coin Spinner, 5-2. The 8, Don Quirari's at 4-1. And Tchaikovsky for DJ Jazzy D is now trading at 6-1. You're getting 10-1 in bets of those. Let's go to Darren on the line. Darren, it does look to be a tricky sprint. Have you heard anything about this horse, Rulership? I know he's got plenty ability.
He's got a lot of ability. You know, that run that stands out is second to Isi Vungu Vungu, where he finished ahead of some smart horses. Now, you got Coin Spinner with the 4 kilos off his back. This horse is going to rate very hard to beat. He's loaded with ability, 56.5 kilos. I'm going to have to lean towards Coin Spinner as long as the 1,000 isn't a bit too sharp for him. Rulership's going to run a big race. And of the rest, Ishnana and Don Karari, I wouldn't ignore their chances either.
Now, it's a good sprint. I like this horse, Rulership. I'm hoping Daryl can give me some sort of confidence. Daryl, the yard's going along nicely. A horse that must have every chance in this sort of lineup. Healthy respect for Coin Spinner, who's also got plenty ability. What do you like?
Yeah, Brandon, it's a sprint, right? Small field up the straight. I don't know if you saw on Sunday what actually happened with the starting stalls. I think there were 8, excuse me, Brandon, 8 runners when Maquette won. Is that right? I think there were 8 runners in that race.
Yeah, Muzi came to the outside.
They moved the stalls, so number 8 stall was on the outside fence, which meant number 1 jumped basically in the middle of the track.
What was the reason for that,
I
Daryl?
don't know. They're saying the inside's getting cut up and everyone's just angling there the whole time. So I'm sure they're going to do the same here, which means Don Carrari is going to be hard up against that outside running rail, and Rulership's going to jump from the middle of the track. I think with Faustino in the race, he's going to get great cover. I think he is the horse to beat on his latest 2 efforts. Coin Spinner, I love his chances. I'm just worried about the 1,000 meters. He's never actually won over 1,000 meters before, Brandon. But with the 4 kgs off his back, he's a serious contender, yeah. And Don Carrari, I've just put him in. Yes, I'm battling. Sorry. I've just put him in because of him being drawn high and him having that outside running rail to bank. So 1, 3, and 8 for me, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks very much to Daryl Murray. I know he's been battling for a long time, and
You know
I
what
can
it is,
promise
eh?
you. Well, you first told me it's a cashew nuts.
No,
This morning I saw you eating a
Lungs-
bowl of fruit.
my lungs have been affected by COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Confirmed?
Well,
Or self-diagnosis?
no, I need to go have my lungs checked out. That's what I've been told.
And you're not a smoker, Daryl?
I don't smoke. Never have, and hopefully never will. You never know, Brandon. You know, when we come under pressure, we tend to try a lot of things in our lives. But I don't think I'll turn to cigarettes.
Yeah, smoking's not going to be the answer, I promise you that. Let's go into those selections. Let's see what we're doing in terms of the jackpots. 1, 3, and 8 for Daryl Murray. Jackpot 2 in the first leg. By field leg 2, by 2, 4, and 5, by 1 and 6. 216 Rand is the spend. So try and take that a few times. Hopefully we catch it. Hopefully we make some money. The second jackpot is definitely a bet I'm going to have a good look at. Let's move along to race number 6, where your joint favourites are number 2, Tiz Magic, and number 6, Cinnamon Blush. They're both trading at 11 to 2. Number 3, Bird Watcher, 15 to 2. Jade's Cabernet at 15 to 2 with Miss Gibson, and you're getting 10 to 1 and better those. Darren, I believe you found us some value over here. You're going to tell us a bit more about the source. Number 4, Shona Kirsty Ives. I think that's how we say it. I see 11 to 1 at the moment.
I think she's a big runner in this lineup. You know, she's run second behind Maquette, beaten under a length. Last time out, only beaten 3 lengths by Spustiki. But take note, her ratings come down another couple of points. She gets 4 kilos off her back. So if given a decent ride by Brevin Plykies, I think this could be the value. Now, you've got Cinnamon Blush. She's in hot form. She should run another honest race. Her rating has gone up. Miss Gibson was eye-catching last time out. She drops in trip, which not going to be a concern, and she could get involved. Of the rest, Fashion Mistress can improve. A horse like Blush of Dawn, now she is best on the poly. She's only one on the poly. So back on turf, I'm not too sure what to make of her.
All right, lovely. So some value for Darren Burrows over there. Let's go to Daryl Murray. Let's see what he likes in an open race. Daryl, it does look very open. I did expect a bit more from the source Tiz Magic. Hasn't been beaten too far. And then Cinnamon Blush, well, done nothing wrong to date.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm not going to sit here and try to dissect this race because I've got 8 horses in the PA, which just tells you how wide I think this race is and how open it is. One, if you playing trifectas and quartets that you might want to include, Kitten's Adventure. You know, she's only had 2 career victories to date. One of them happened to be over this course and distance, and then if you go back 4 runs, she actually ran second to there she goes over this track and trip. Cole Dickens riding very well at the moment. I think she's fit enough to do herself justice, but yeah, for me, very tricky. I wouldn't be surprised if I only double up in the PA. Let's hope I survive, because it will all be an embarrassment of note if I go out with 8 runners. But yeah, very open.
I agree. Very open. Let's put up the selections. Let's see what we're doing for this particular contest. It's a wide open race number 6. They'll line up at the 1200 meter marker. Darren Burrows suggests we take a pick 3 starting now. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in the first leg. By 2, 4, and 5. by 1, 6 and 10. 72 Rand if you take it as is on your screen. Maybe we try and take this a few times, catch it a few times. It's an open race, is race number 6, and it goes off at 15:35. Let's go to race number 7. This is probably the best race of the afternoon. Number 5, Captain Casey's your 22-10 favourite. Number 7, Passenger Power 4-1. 4 Former Gears at 11-2. And it's 13-2 and better those. Let's go to Darren first. Darren, what are we going to go with over here? It's a great race. I mean, Captain Casey, a horse that's got plenty ability. Passenger Power's done nothing wrong to date. Former Gears done nothing wrong to date. And even a horse like Ideal Act must have a squeak. What do you like?
Well, I thought between numbers 2, 4, and 5. Now, Captain Casey, he's a very good horse on his day. You could say he was a bit disappointing last time out behind MK's Pride. I thought he would run in the first 3 and he was one-paced. Returning after a short break, he should run a good race with 61.5 kilos. I like Former Gear. Reason why, last time out, he couldn't get handy and he was fighting for his head behind runners, and that's why he ran out of steam in the closing stages. From a good draw, I expect him to push forward, and I think he'll be the horse to catch going through the 200. So 4 to beat 5, and then Ideal Act. I think that was a good last effort. He made up a lot of ground late, and he should be cherry ripe.
Lovely. Thank you very much to Darren. Let's go to Daryl Marie and see what he likes. Daryl, I was chatting to you off air about this individual. And Captain Casey, I'm prepared to take my chances. I know he's 22-10 in the markets, but I think I'm going to have a dip.
He's a very nice horse, Brendan. But he does shoulder quite a bit of pudding of 61.5. You know, last time out when he ran behind MK's Pride, Tony's yard was quite quiet at that stage. MK's Pride was slunging at the weights. Tony's come to form. He's back in a handicap. I can see him winning, and I can see him winning well. I agree wholeheartedly with Former Gear. I don't think the tactics or where he was positioned quite did him justice last time out. I think Samanga's going to go handy, if not lead. We'll see a much improved effort on his behalf. And then Ideal Act needed his last 2 comeback starts, and he's more effective over the 1400. He's having his peak run, Brandon. He's going to run a blinder, 2, 4, and 5. I'm not looking past those 3.
Just quickly, Daryl, just to remind viewers that this horse, Captain Casey, was carded to run a week ago. And the reason for that not happening was Starp's permission. He was scratched. Do you think they've always had this race as the idea of him winning?
Absolutely. Brandon, he was meant to run in that race where Sun Blushed won. Is that correct?
Could have been. That was the sprint where Mrs. Browning was very unlucky.
Yeah. And Tony got permission from the Starps to scratch him for this event. I obviously thought his chances are stronger over here, and I'm sure he comes into this race, fits in well. So definitely one for the shortlist, Brandon.
Yeah, and I've got a funny feeling. I think this is why Gavin Lorena's in town. We'll try and get the lowdown from the presenters. Let's go and see what those selections, what are we doing? What are the guys telling us to do? Darren Burrows is saying we must back Former Gear. We can have 100 Rand on Former Gear. It's entirely up to you as to how much you spend. It's Smanga Kamalo for Peter Muscat, drawn 4. You're going to get a big run for your money. Let's go to the lucky last, and your favourite is going to be number 6, Master Josh, at 4-1 with 7, Medlar Freedom. New Mexico, lovely looking horse. Watch this horse go down to the start. 6-1, number 12. The 1, Mr. Pigal's at 7-1, and it's 13-1 and better those. Let's go to Darren Burrows. Darren, it's the lucky last. Help us with some value. What can we have a bet on the nose on?
I like this horse, Mr. Pigal, quite strongly. Last time out, I liked him. He got caught 4 deep around the bend, and how he still only got beat 3 parts of a length was a cracking effort. He moved up and obviously couldn't find extra in the closing stages. He's got the draw in his favour, and I just feel this is the right type of company for Mr. Pigal. So I'm having a bet on Mr. Pigal. I made the Danger Master Josh. He steps up in trip. He has performed well over the mile, but he has a lot of weight to shoulder. And then Iron Will and Fine Admiral as roughies to include into your trifectas.
That's a good find. I agree with Darren. I think Mr. Pigal's a massive runner, especially that last run behind Ibuto and its penultimate run over 1,500 meters back on the 19th of July. Daryl, that was a good run behind Form Gear, which was probably a stronger race than what he meets today. So do you agree with Darren?
You know, Brandon, funny enough, how many horses are in this race? 15. Darren's tipping them 1 from 6. I'm going 6 from 1. I'll make it a match race too, but I'm suggesting a bet on Master Josh. Obviously, Mr. Pigal, I like his chances. You know, Tristan rode him last time out over the course in distance. He was wearing blinkers, and they've taken the blinkers off. So I'm sure that's Tristan's advice. Maybe he was just a little bit too keen. He didn't quite settle and get into a proper rhythm. So blinkers come off. I really like his chances today. I think he's going to run a blinder. But I've been waiting for Master Josh to go some ground. I thought his latest 2 starts were come-on efforts. You know, obviously he got away winning one of them, and then last time out he ran in a really nice field. In that race was a horse called, I think, Neither Here Nor There. He came out and ran a close-up third to Mrs. Browning and Sunblushed, who were weighted to win. I mean, they were joint best weighted. You know, he's gone a mile twice in the past. It was in the Western Cape. Desperately unlucky on both of those occasions. So 6 from 1 for me.
And that was, just refresh my memory, Daryl, but Moya Walla Liga, I was working at Turfentine on the day, so I didn't get to watch Western Cape racing, but he ran second, is that right?
That's right. You know, if there's a Ride of the Month nomination, and probably the win, he'll win the categories. Bernard's Ride on Cafe Culture in that very same race. Yeah. So Moya Walla Liga's basically franked the form too by running Cracker. 6 from 1. Or you can even back them both. You know, it's called Dutching. They're both at a decent price. Get involved. I think you'll show a profit.
Lovely. Thank you very much to Daryl Marie. Thanks to Darren Parras. Let's put those selections up. Let's see what we're doing in the lucky last. Daryl Marie says, have a small bet on Master Josh. You can't get hurt. Decent price. A man that's riding very well at the moment is Muzi Yeni, and he's teamed up with Alison Wright on the 4-year-old Bay Gelding. And that's how we close it off. Thanks very much again to Darren on the line. We'll hear from him for the Vol tomorrow. And of course to Daryl. Daryl, thanks for all your help. I'm hoping that we have a good day, because tomorrow you like a few horses at the Vol.
Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow's meet.
Thank you, Daryl Marie.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
Thank you very much to Cameron, Leisha and Dylan, as well as Arasha behind the scenes. They do all the hard work in making sure that the show goes out perfectly fine. Okay, so that's it from my side. Have fun. Love to the family. We'll chat again soon. Bye-bye.